Hello friends, family, and other creatures of the sea, and welcome back to a best of 5 between Korea's finest. Dark here in the top left spawning as our red Zerg player, and in the bottom right, the man, the myth, the legendary Protoss players. Of course, herO, recognizable by the fact that he has Kaczynski spinning around his nexus. I absolutely love that. Loving this... It is the most herO thing. The Kaczynski portrait, for the people who don't know, I'm pretty sure is the default portrait you get when you set up your StarCraft account. But in order to get it spinning as a decal, you actually need to put in some work. So he put in the work to look like the most standard guy in the world. I absolutely love that. It's just, that's how special herO sometimes can be. So we have, what do we have over here? Well, we had no sound up until now. But here we go. Gonna get some of those nice game sounds in as well. The early game sounds tend to be a little bit too loud for me anyway. Like the noise of the Stargate buildings. Like, well, that's way too much. I'm not a fan of that. This probe is going to be heading back home with the minerals in his mouth. We'll be telling all his friends about the minerals he got from the other side. You know, and that they're so much nicer. Yes, they're worth the same, but it's an experience as well that you just don't understand unless you've been there. Sure, you could have just gone to a restaurant back home and gotten the same food that you got 2,000 miles from home, but it's the experience, you know, just being around the people that have lived like this for thousands of years and then taking away their minerals like this probe just did. That's really what gets you. Second adept is also being sent out there. I think both of them have been chrono boosted. Ooh, look at this creature. Yeah, what is this? I think this is the least furthest distance I've ever seen in creature replacement. He literally just put it next to the other one. Didn't finish the shade. You might as well not do it. If you're gonna spread creep like this, you might as well just quit. What is this? There's like one creep tumor in between. That's like making a train tracks to the house of your neighbor. It's like the effort isn't really worth it, is it? Well, whatever. Second Oracle also on the way. Let's take a look at that movement here coming out of herO as he moves in towards the natural location, looking to find any drones that were perhaps transferring over. The Oracle is poking, prodding, is not going to find any way to get major damage in. Oop, it's actually going to take some hull damage here as well. That's a mistake, I think. He flies in and is still not going to get anything whatsoever. No, one drone perhaps. Yep, there we go. Dark not quick enough there with the extractor or with the spore. And as a result, we'll lose one worker. Second Oracle is flying in now as well. Third Queen is out, but those Queens are not quite in position. And that means that 2 more drones will fall. That brings us to a total of 3 drone kills. As the Forge in the Twilight go down here, double gas as well. And a major Link Flood here. And a Baneling Nest as well coming out of Dark. So setting up to go for a Baneling bust, I guess. But this Baneling Nest is way too late. Right? It's 30 more seconds. All of those Links are going to be out already. It's a Queen Walk. It's a Queen Walk Baneling bust. All right. This is one of those builds that you hear about, you know? You read about on Reddit or the Team Liquid forums or the Battle.net forums. And you think to yourself, that sounds absolutely idiotic. There's no way that is good. And now we're seeing it in real time here. Is there a battery in the natural? Yes, there is. herO is well aware of what has been kicking off here. As he warps in a couple more adepts, would love to see an extra pylon. Just for the, you know, the extra setup and the safety. Do you want to continue Oracle production here? I think you do, and that's indeed what he is doing. There's a bunch of adepts here. I think an extra pylon would not have been a luxury. Super battery not yet activated. I'm not quite sure why. I guess he believes he can go without it so far. And he might actually be correct. Here comes the fourth Oracle as well. Here come the Banes. Should be capable of taking out that pylon. Instead goes for the battery and the pylon at the same time. This looks good. This actually looks like it has some real potential here, as this base is indeed going to get taken out. The natural will stay alive for now, and 4-5 oracles will be there soon. I don't think stasis wards are a necessity. Oh! Baneling does activate it. And cannon on the high ground. Charge as a follow-up, +1. We should probably see a Templar Archives as well, but instead it's going to be a robotics facility. And like I said, 5 oracles, that has some potential. It's now going to go in and try and get some worker kills. We'll be capable of doing that as Queens are completely out of position, of course. Not a single queen here to help. That means that every single worker could potentially die. I think you just go in, you dive here. Absolutely, you dive. Then you micro back the oracles that are... Ooh, this is poor micro. You micro back the oracles that get weak. 7 workers is too little, honestly. Yeah, need to jump in back once more. I think more damage could have been dealt here with 4 oracles against just a single spore. He loses an oracle and kills 8 workers. That definitely could have been done better here. Mediocre play out of herO, to be quite honest. Would have loved to see that managed a little bit better. Now, we still have an equal worker count, but don't forget that Dark is mining way more efficiently here. Just significant amounts. Look at that, 1,700 minerals against 2,200, despite an even worker count. Oh! Of course, a lot of that is in gas mining as well for herO, as we're seeing. 600-700 against 260. But minerals tend to be more important in most cases, especially when you're trying to kind of kickstart your economy, which is often the case in the first 6-7 minutes of the game for both the Protoss and the Zerg. 4 oracles still alive. We have a Templar Archive. We have a Robo Bay. That is a surprising move, the Robo Bay here, because you're playing against an opponent that so far has only built links. Luckily for herO, though, it's going to be range upgrades, and Robo Bay units tend to be better against against units that come from the Robo Bay. The Disruptor and the Colossus tend to be slightly better against roaches than they are against links and banelings. And Disruptor against link bane is not great. Colossus is okay, I guess, against high link counts, but still not perfect. Overseer is going to end up finishing up here as ground weapons level 1 is also done. Do we have any detection with this? No, we don't. This is a banter move. Another sentry is going to get picked up by the Ling run-bys. It's 2 Archons get morphed. It seems like a weird move. He's just going to lose 1 Archon for free here, at least. Perhaps even is going to end up losing 2. No, just 1 is going to go down before it finishes. That's minus 300 gas right there. Is that the second Disruptor? No, that's still the first Disruptor. This has been a mediocre start here for herO, despite him having a lot of opportunities. Now, there is a massive supply block for Dark at the same time. A pretty poor game, I would say, so far. Macro-wise, micro-wise, I've not been very impressed by these players in this game so far. It seems like Dark is also setting up for basically a 3-base all-in with Mass Roach Queen. That seems to be the incorrect call against what herO is playing here. Is herO aware of the fact that there's no fort base? I mean, if you know there's no fort base, you're just pumping Disruptors like your life depends on it, right? You go up to 4 or 5 Disruptors, no shot, you're losing against pure Roach. Although I don't quite think he is aware. Did he just lose the Prism? He did just lose the Prism. That had an Archon in it, didn't it? Yeah. 2 Archons have gone down in total now. This is such an unfortunate start here for herO. Such an unfortunate start. If he gets to a high Disruptor count, that would be pretty hype for him, but I'm not even sure if he has enough, like, kind of meat in front of this army to stop the Roaches from just jumping on top of the Disruptors here. Stasis wards are being constructed. Changelings are dropping. Oh my god, beautiful play here out of Dark. Nice little trick there, making sure that these Stasis wards are not going to bother him, as 1 Disruptor shot's actually hitting in a pretty big way. I think taking out 5-6 Roaches there at once. There's still 1 Purification Nova available. You see how scared Dark is of that Purification Nova. Now he's going to try to jump on top of it. Okay, here we go. It's only going to get 3 kills. That's not enough. Is the Oracle still alive, trying to deal some damage? Super Battery did just run out. New Purification Nova once again here available. Going to connect with a lot of units. Another Disruptor moving in now as well, as the worker count has diminished ever so slightly, but there is a possibility here that herO could be holding with 1 more big Disruptor shot. Anything is possible. He's completely going to miss, just hitting 1 Roach, and now he is in trouble once more. Next Disruptor still a couple of seconds away from finishing. This Archon is rather low, as the probes now need to evacuate. Of course, this base is still up and can be saturated, but losing 20 workers is just a little bit too much. Next Disruptor shot getting 3-4 kills here once more. +2 about to finish up as well. Here comes the Disruptor shot, just killing 1 Roach. I think a lot of these shots have just been a little bit too mid, not getting any huge ones there. 86 supply against 136, but the real story, of course, is the 48 workers against the 65. So Dark right now technically could just drone up to 75, 76, throw down an infestation pit, and head in towards a more late game scenario here. I don't think that's quite what his plan is, though. He seems to be very keen and continuing to push out, while herO continues building workers and continues to hold on as well for now, which is kind of important to note. Like, If your opponent keeps building roaches and you build workers and you stabilize on 3 bases, all of a sudden there is a possibility that you're going into a semi-successful mid to late game, you know? 6 gas is now being built. herO has no chill. He just starts flying across the map. Sees this move out though. Oh no. One's gonna be a big hit. Second one not as much. I think it was 5-6 roaches in total. We have a new Disruptor out. I really think that 4 Disruptors here is kind of like the magical number at which there's always going to be a shot available. Like, this one misses, that sucks, that actually really sucks. But as long as the Disruptor stays alive, I'm kind of okay with it. Once again, we see herO picking up the back Disruptors. Should probably try and drop them to get some damage in at this point. Needs to save this one, doesn't quite get the save there. Yeah, 90 supply against 183. Who am I kidding, right? This game is absolutely over at this point. Dark just holding down that roach button again and again and again. Disruptor count never got to that number. Like, how many Disruptors have died? 4 already. If those had been used a little bit more carefully, perhaps there is a world in which herO at least stabilizes, but now I find it difficult to believe. He's gonna set up shop over here, make sure that the super battery does a little bit of healing as well. Purification Nova shots are coming in, will take out 1 roach. Next Purification Nova actually deals no damage at all. This is a mana ravager. More if you see that. Dark is saying, hey, get out of my game, it's over. You know it, I know it. Piss off here, as I have, you know, gotten the victory here, my friend. Time to leave. Back to the lobby screen you go. Good splits here out of Dark the entire way through. Hasn't built a single drone in this process. These zealots are going ham on the other side of the map. I'm not quite sure why herO is still in, but perhaps he believes that with his magnificent micro he can do something. I don't quite agree. He loses his 3rd base. Now we see 3 drones on the way. I mean, attacking into a natural is a risky endeavor. It always is. Here I really think, yeah, getting into a hive is 100% the correct call. Just forming a concave on the bottom of the ramp. Here we go. Final Archons are dying. Purification Nova's not going to hit in any major way. And this should be it. Yeah. Dark takes game number 1. Bow, bow, bow. Another block here coming out of herO, who does stop this natural from going up. Good start. I like that. Dark's just gonna get the 70 natural over here on the 3rd base location, and herO also looks for that often. He's one of the few players that does that. Most Protoss players go into the main base and say, hello, time to harass some probes here, and herO says, no, actually, I want to get the info that there's really a 3rd base there, and I'm not being proxied by some idiotic hatchery on my side of the map, or some drone making its way over there doing whatever they want. It's not what he's down for, you know. Special case for sure, herO. Very different from the other tosses. Let's open up with a cheeky little gateway down here. Follows it up with a Nexus core, of course. And as of late, I haven't seen a lot of Glaives build orders out of herO. This is something that is kind of interesting to think about. Is that we kind of see herO as this aggressive monster, but yet the most aggressive build that Protoss has right now, which definitely is the Glaives opener, is not really being played by him. What does that say about the viability of that build, right? If someone that is prone to be aggressive in the early game doesn't want to play it, and instead prefers to control and the consistency that the oracles give him. It's just interesting to keep that in mind. Important to keep that in mind when you think about how you want to play yourself in the PvZ matchup. Doesn't Chrono Boost his first Adept out? It's looking for kind of a way in there to check if there's really a 3rd building or not. As Dark moves 2 links away. Gonna scout for proxies. Someone's got that in his head recently. I'm not quite sure who it is, but I bet Dark wishes that guy gets out of there. Scouting for proxy against someone that goes for a hatch block is really rare. It's so expensive to go for a hatch block, and then proxying. The proxy is just going to hit kind of late most of the time, because you have another probe that's out on the map. It tends to suck, honestly, but, you know, maybe it's not so bad. Maybe I underestimate it. I should try it again sometime. Often the best way to figure out whether you're underestimating something is just to try it. It's a good rule in StarCraft, and in life in general. Oracle indeed does start. In the past, I've seen herO open up with Oracle into Phoenix, or Oracle into Phoenix, or sometimes even a Void Ray. This time it's going to be a Stalker plus an Oracle, trying to take out that Overlord. Dark is a little bit too quick for that, though. It's going to notice and immediately sends his Overlord away. Second Oracle starts basically as soon as possible. The third base is imminent. There's 6 links out here. They're hunting. Not for witches, but for a probe that wants to build a third base. 8 links. Is that enough? I don't think 8 links should be enough here. Not the kill, at least. Well, I get pretty close. 3 more links do show up. Oracle is forced to go back home. Probe is going to end up falling, but so will a bunch of these links. Not so sure if this was a brilliant attack out of dark. A probe for 4 or 5 links. It's going to make herO feel very secure in this coming move out. He warps in 2 more adepts, I think I just saw. Seems to be keen on moving out with them as well. Third Oracle is on the way. Uh-oh! That's going to be 1, that's going to be 2, and that's going to be a 3 indeed. Main base completely left open here. As, well, there is a Spore, but that's not going to be enough. Nice target fire on that Spore. Initially latching onto this Oracle, then quickly switching over to the already damaged Oracle, almost taking it out. That was a really nice move there out of dark with quick responses. And almost paid off. Not quite, but the thought was there, and that's what's important. 5 workers have gone down, though, and now we have 5 adepts being sent out across the map. We have a Forge, we have a Twilight as well, and we have a couple of Chrono Boost here on the workers for herO, who is warping Stalkers at home. And here comes that adept move out indeed. Is he just gonna go for a couple of these creep tumors, or is there something more sinister at play here? And perhaps trying to finish, and well, if he finishes this shade, he's off. Yeah, that would be would be a professional's call, a major mistake. And a pretty big one. But yeah, it's not going to finish that because he's not an idiot. 7 more drones on the way here for Dark. These 2 bad boys are just chilling in the dead space. Wouldn't mind seeing a recall on those. That's actually taking a little bit of a beating here. Don't know how far Dark wants to chase that off creep, though, with the Oracle present. No Evo Chamber here yet. 5 gas. Nidus network. Wow. Alright, Dark. Alright. Is this a good build? Would we consider this a good build? It is a 5 gas, practically. There's no mining from this one, for now at least. Okay, he's mining from there now. So it's okay, it's actually a pure 6 gas build order then, most likely. Yeah. 6 gas build order. 4th base already for herO. Not necessarily a bad thing. We'll get into why it's not necessarily a bad thing later, but yeah, it's not a huge deal. It's annoying. It's 400 minerals, but I don't think herO is aware. So those 400 minerals otherwise would be spent in gases. So the 4th base here is not the issue. The issue is that there's no static. Okay, we get a recall. I think herO is fairly aware, especially after hearing the Nidus sound. It usually is a big giveaway that there indeed is a Nidus. He doesn't know where it is, though. The first thing you do is like praying it's not on your main base. What is this? It's like the creep tumor in game 1. Just 2 Niduses next to each other. Makes very little sense. Maybe just to panic the opponent a little bit. Here comes, well, Queen Roach Ravager attack. It's hitting hard. It's hitting real hard, but there's a lot of gateways here. 5 gateways available, triple oracles available, more cannons on the way as well. We now have a Nidus being built for it. I'd love a couple of batteries back here. Would have loved them about 10-15 seconds ago. Oh, that's a big stasis that's actually hitting. That is a very, very significant stasis. Gateways are being taken out, but we're up to 7 already right now. Production is off the charts for herO, and if he gets those batteries up, maybe even add a cannon in the far back just for banter. A couple of extra pylons as well would be great. Cybernetics core needs to be rebuilt. There's no anticipation here for what's about to happen. That is a real mistake. Now the cybernetics core goes down, but here comes the links around as the Ravagers throw their biles onto the battery. I think these Stalkers are just in a world of trouble. The Ravager count is almost higher than the Stalker count, and that's not even accounting for Well, for the links that are here as well, 36 links available. Charge is not done yet. Hell, it barely even started as Dark is moving in. And for the second time in a very, very short period, it feels like Dark is winning. But although, now that I say that, perhaps we're seeing some stabilization here. Still a lot of links. I mean, this base is going to be toast. I think you just send like 5 links in here, right? After you take out the static. You don't need all your links, just 5 links. That's it. That's all you need, my friend. Nidus is going to get taken out. There's a lot of units in that Nidus still. The probes stay alive, though. And now, this is where the fort base might come in handy. I'm not saying it's going to be useful. It might come in handy. If that fort base doesn't get scouted here by Dark, the probes stay alive, and then Dark pisses off back home, thinking that he can go into a macro game, he'll kind of be mistaken. Because herO will have good eco still, or at least good enough eco. He'll be up in upgrades by a significant amount. I think he's stabilized. Oracle count is pretty low, but Nidus will fall. And this base is still going. There is a cannon here. There's a battery. We have drones in production right now. Dark does not believe he can go in for the kill. And I agree with Dark's assessment in this case. Dark believes he doesn't need to go for the kill because he thinks his opponent is on 2 base. But that's not the case at all here, is it, Dark? That is not the case at all. We now have a 3rd coming out as well. Or, well, yeah. No, this is a 4th now, but it's the 3rd base location. We'll refer to it as the 3rd. The 4th base now is being saturated. +2 is on the way. There is a 2nd fort for +2 armor as well. Like, there are opportunities here for herO. It is not necessarily a winning scenario, but it's also not a hugely losing scenario. He has certain advantages, certain disadvantages. Up in upgrades, down a little bit in supply, down a little bit in eco. Down a base, but not by that much. This is playable. The one thing I am sad about for herO is that his Oracle count is so low right now. Like, if you're herO, you really wanted to have your Oracles alive, especially against such a high Ravager count and without any creep being available, right? It would be great to have Oracles to deal with that in the future again. On top of that, Stasis Ward and Revelation are just fabulous spells as well. But just for the Pulsar Beam, it would have been nice. 2-2 is being researched, and base 5 is going to be on the way soon here, yeah. Whenever you see someone sticking to 4 gases, like herO is right now, you know that base 5 and base 6 are following rapidly. It's going to get spotted. The thing is that Dark is completely misreading this game still, at this point. He sees this as a 3rd, he sees this as a 4th. And that type of read can really mess with you. Like, yeah. He's just completely off. Dark right now is in the mindset that as long as he survives, he's winning. So he's adding infestors, he's going into lurkers. He's like, my opponent is on 4 gas and on like 60 workers. My opponent has nothing. He's not going to have any tech. If I get lurkers out, I win the game. But herO can start adding gateways again. Already teching into the Templar archives as well. So yeah, I think herO is in a good spot here. I really do believe that. Templar Archives does finish. Wouldn't mind seeing extra gases being added here on base 4 and 5. Adrenal could start. So we have spines on the way. Defensively, of course, in these bases will be fairly helpful. Stalker count is high. Holy crap. The thing here is that Dark just needs to get rid of some units. So that's what he's doing here, right? I think he's still going to go on with this run by just because he wants to get rid of this. Like, he really needs some space for Hydras and then Lurkers afterwards, because this army is freaking balls. That is actually garbage. So many Ravagers. It's an expensive army. Like, the gas count is pretty high, but the army does not perform well. It does not perform well at all. There's no Banelings here. There's no form of splash whatsoever as herO starts moving forward right now. 2-2 upgrades against +1. That is a 3 upgrade deficit. Now, Zerg units generally don't care quite as much about upgrades, but if you're working with pure Ravager Ling, Yeah, that's a pretty darn big deal here. hero's coming in, taking out every single queen that he can find, as fungals are covering his army in a green blanket. This is not a type of blanket that keeps you warm. At least not that I'm aware of. Dark is going to give up this base. I think he's forced to, almost. I don't think there's much he can do. Archon's being morphed in. Perhaps not the greatest call. Maybe Storm would have been better here, rather than the Archons. Nidus goes down in the main base. There's lurkers in there, isn't there? There's going to be lurkers in there. That's 9. Yeah, 4 zealots will get warped in. I think make short work of this Nidus. And Nidus will not finish up. That was tight, though. That was really tight and kind of close. Now these lurkers are coming in defensively. Dark's still in a position where he can win this game, of course, because herO is attacking into this like he isn't up a base. It's so funny. Well, not ha ha ha, but funny. Like, he's up a base, up 12 workers, up massively in upgrades, yet he feels the need to finish this game. That's the last thing he should be feeling right now. He should be feeling perhaps a transition into Skytos, or a transition into Disruptors, or just anything other than Stalker Zealot. It's still possible that he holds this incoming assault, but he's making it difficult for himself. herO setting up a flank here. But this is a pure Stalker flank. Stalkers are not that great at flanking. 13 lurkers are out. Lots of Hydras as well over here. Observer is there to spot. I just don't think there's enough. I just don't think there are enough units here for herO. He's going to be forced to give up this third base as he's popping out Immortals. Well, so far 1 at a time. This is not a good engagement, and Dark might just be taking the lead 2-0 here in this series. More and more Stalkers are being warped in. Immortal trying to deal some damage as well, but will just not work out over here. I think once more this is game. herO staying in for a very, very long time. This was a 4-base all-in here out of Dark. He had nothing behind this. He had 1 attack, and that is it. herO lost all of his army, allowing his opponent to move across the map. If herO stays maxed on a crap army, Dark can never move out. Because the moment Dark moves out, herO can just base trade. And he would always win a base trade. Lurkers are pretty bad in base trades generally. A bunch of these lurkers are being destroyed here by the zealots, but income is fairly close right now as well, right? It's not like herO is outmining his opponent 2 or 3 to 1. That's like he's outmining his opponent by 150 minerals a minute. That's not significant enough. It really isn't. Nidus network is going to be built in the main base. GG gets called, and Dark wins game number 2, putting himself on a match point in this best of 5. We've arrived in game number 3 here on Royal Blood. Wait, what? Where's my carpet? Wait, did they remove the carpets? What is this garbage? Wait, this is the map that usually has the carpets. Why did they kill that? Oh, that's frustrating. That's the only way I remember the map name. Ooh, nice one, Dark. Accidentally right-clicked everything on one patch there. When this happens, I usually just leave the game. Mentally, at least. Usually I do continue playing, but I've already checked out. I read a little bit of Korean. This says, God, I destroyed you in the early game. Please leave, you massive prick. And then Dark said, sad facey. This is a sad face. It is what it is. Oh, come on, don't really translate it. Thanks for the tip. What tip? Did I miss something? Thanks for the tip. Maybe it's like a tip. He means like donation. It's like a helping him out with the minerals or something. Makes no sense. I love when these guys banter. Ooh, nice location, herO. Yes. Of course. That is beautiful. Look at that. This is what I want to see in my StarCraft 2. This location on top of on the high ground. That's great. A little bit of mining time there the night for free. And now you go in. You basically regained all of your shields at this point. You can finish this on the side, can't you? I wouldn't want to go in there, but I'd finish it on the side. 100%. Like over here. Metabolic boost will never finish in time. He's gonna shade in? Oh man, he's mad. Look at him. He's crazy. No shot. Speed has finished 20 seconds ago. He's just standing around like speed doesn't exist. And now the Oracle shows up, so it's safe all of a sudden. This is a beautiful game. I love this video game. There goes one adept, perhaps? No, both of them survive for now. Well, kill one worker together. Not really worth it, so perhaps he does a couple of screws up in his head loose. So he did lose those 2 adepts for free, basically. Not quite brilliant. And now you have these counterattacks forcing the second Oracle at home. Losing the adept suck, but having to keep your second Oracle at home, you really feel like a massive loser, you know? This is like having a very cool car, but not being allowed to drive faster than 15 kilometers an hour, not even miles. At least I imagine that's what it feels like. I don't own a car, I can't drive, don't even have a driver's license. So, you know, it's made an analogy to feel relatable, but it isn't relatable to my life at all. I'm a true faker. Another Nidus network, and Darks drank the Kool-Aid. The Nidus network Kool-Aid. Oh. No. No. Come again, Chief. I mean, you're scouting a lair that's finished at 5 minutes. As a Protoss player with a brain, you know something's up. Like, he's building a battery for a reason, right? He's building a battery in here as well. Like, he's warping in pure adepts right now. He definitely knows what's kicking off. Oh, yeah. He built a Phoenix. Hey, these are non-standard things, all right? He's making sure nothing happens over in the main base. As the Glaive is going to finish up here. This is a hold. This is 100% hold. This is a huge hold. Baneling Nest is being built as the follow-up here. This bad boy is trying to go in towards the main base, but if the Oracle has any energy remaining, it should not be an issue. Here we go. Are you going to build it? Nope. No Nidus in the main. It's pure links here. It's 29 links against 15 adepts with glaives. You don't have to chase this if you're herO, but you definitely can. 6 drones are on the way, 22 more links as well. We need a 4th base here coming out for, honestly, both players at this point. And banelings need to be pre-produced here. These are significant adept numbers. Alright, this is no joking matter. That's 20 adepts. I think you might even need more than just 6 banes. I think you need banes in 2 locations. So you need 8 or 9. 4-5 split. Yes, sir. I can boogie. But I need a certain song. Ooh, here comes the split of the banes. Good control out of herO. What was that? That was beautiful. Hits the stasis as well here. Should have gotten a couple of drones here, I believe. Is Hatch3 perhaps in some in some minor trouble? When I say minor, I mean, well, if you die, it's not really considered minor trouble usually. Shade a little bit too late. Banelings will connect. Adepts finish up. Do manage to push themselves into this little choke hole. This could have and should have and would have been way better. No way! Did you see that? Alright, I don't like going back in time, but look at his move. Look at this absolute madman. He sends them into the... I've never seen this before. He sends them into the Nidus to come from a different angle, to get more surface area here. It's just 1 or 2 links at a time, but still, it matters in these fights. That was a very nice play out of Dark. Some good on-the-fly thinking. So I've seen... I think it's TLO, who once used a Nidus network in his natural to chase an army with banelings. Because the travel through the Nidus is practically instant, you know? So he sent them in and bam, popped them out on the other side. I can't recall what the map is called on which he did it. In my mind, it looked a little bit like Babylon. Like similar tile set. But yeah, this was beautiful. That was such a cool thought to just do that in the moment. I never would have thought of that. Such an adaptable player. Man, that was sick. That was actually a sick move. I freaking love that. You know that? That is a crazy move. Still losing though. Absolutely still losing. My man Dark is in so much trouble right now. He's down in supply while building roaches. It's not how you want your life to go, trust me. This is not how you want your life to go. Absolutely. This is like losing a foot race against a 2-year-old. Doesn't feel good. Trust me. It has happened to me. Infestation pit on the way here. So once again, Dark probably trying to aim for that that roach ravager, Nidus, infestor, lurker type of play. He might just die here though. Look how many units there are. Files are somewhat connecting. GG gets called. herO wins this game fairly easily after after holding that Nidus. Man, that was an insane trick. What a cool trick. All right. This has been a fun series so far, and very enjoyable. I think it has to do with both players, you know, kind of playing enjoyable StarCraft as well. Like fun, interesting. Like I really do think both of these players are enjoyable to watch. They have like aggressive tendencies. Dark has been absolutely off his mind so far in this series. 2 Nidus networks. He had no business winning game number 2, by the way. Let's not forget about that. And game 1 with just that, practically also like just a pure roach all in it was, right? Yeah. Oh! Yeah. Adios, herO. Back home you go, my friend. So this is one of the reasons why a lot of Protoss players don't chase that drone towards the 3rd base. Because if you do this every single game like herO has, someone like Dark looks at that and says, hey mate, I'm just gonna wait with my 2nd drone on top of my ramp. I'm going to build my hatchery, my natural anyway. And you scouting early did absolutely nothing in that case. What a great play here. I just like that, you know that? This is why I like Dark a lot. It's because he is someone that takes risks, and then these risks pay off, and it feels good, you know? I like watching that. He's mining a lot of gas really early. Holy crap. He sent 2 drones in gas before full mineral saturation. In ZVP, the standard is to rally into gas. Only in ZVZ do you pull into gas. This is one of the fastest gas pulls that I've seen in my life. It almost makes me believe it's going to be like a link flood. Why else would you need speed this quickly? Especially if your natural is in your natural location, right? What's kicking off over there, one could ask. I don't know what's kicking off over there, but it's going to be freaking fast. That's for sure. Buff! Start it. There we go. 27-28. Overlord. This all looks very nice. Is he gonna get like a 28 hatchery here? What's this play? Chases away this probie. Just 2 links for now. No third, no 3rd and 4th on the way. Probes are neatly tucked here downstairs. 2 of them. Stargates up here. 1 chrono boost got saved and didn't get used on anything. So now we see probes being chronoed. It's actually fairly rare. Funnily enough, when you chrono your probes, you get a later 3rd base. Because you're spending more money on probes and it doesn't pay back in time before you build your 3rd. So you often see a 3rd base delayed. Although herO right now wasn't even producing probes, so it's not going to be super impactful. Phoenix has the 1st unit here. So a complete switch up. Might actually just play 2 unit in this case. So far he's been playing triple unit every single time before the 3rd. Now might go for double unit. A little bit less safe. But if you're planning on being less aggressive with your oracles early on, which I think he might have to be if you're playing Phoenix anyway, right? There's always that risk. And maybe I don't mind it as much. Second gate here is finishing up. The Nexus goes down. Rapidly, of course, followed by the pylon. Just 2 Stargate units. No, here comes a third. It's interesting openers. Once again, Dark is going to be throwing out some aggression here. 12 links. It's too many to be used defensively, and too little to kill a third phase. So the goal here perhaps to take out an Adept, force out a Warp in. Twilight Council as a follow-up. Same build order as last game. Same build order as last game. What's the total link count? 16. Like, if there's no Oracle at home, 16 links actually can do something. They're not completely useless, you know? Here we go. 3 Adepts. Dark isn't feeling it. He says no. You can piss right off. Ain't going in there, Chief. Oop. Battery finishing up. Here comes an attack. Could actually be successful. Lift 1 Queen. Fly in with the other 2 Oracles. Oop. That's a drone that dies for free. Nice moves though here. Out of Dark. Good Queen movement. Very solid Queen movement. Loses a couple of workers, but really not the end of the world. Needs to be careful with this 1 Oracle as well, of course. Needs to be real careful with that 1 Oracle. There's some dead space here that you can kind of relax in. Overlord is taking a bit of a beating. He's gonna try and lift it. Yeah, I knew it. This guy's so predictable. And poop. Hatchery gets built over here. Blink as a follow-up. Forge. 2 more gateways. And we see something interesting here that we don't see with a lot of other players. We see Blink before the +1. Usually because you want to attack when they're both matched up, you start with the Forge upgrade because it takes longer. But I think herO wants to be aggressive a little bit earlier. And thus, that's why he's playing like this. Link's completely out of position though. herO should cancel this. No, doesn't cancel this, and now is going to get caught here by the Links in the middle of the map. Kind of unfortunate here. He went for a safe play, or well, what he believed was the safe play. And it's biting him in the bum here. He's gonna lose 2 Adepts. And he could have killed 4 or 5 more workers there and then shade out or recall or do anything that's cool. We do see a bunch of roaches in production here. Not so sure what for. Is that defensive roaches, or are we seeing an all-in again here coming out of Dark? It's going to be double Robo Bay. Wow. That is a true wow moment. And this is a build that I've seen Classic play as well, by the way. Where he opens up with these Adepts into Blink Stalkers and then 3, 4 Colossi and boom boom. Off they go. This Robo could be in a little bit of trouble. If it weren't for these beautiful Oracles, of course. Oracles here to save the day. Fort base is going to be fairly delayed. No, you can't be serious, Dark. This is... Nah. No, okay, he cancels it as well. No, that would have been a terrible call here. This is not a Nidus network game, my friend. It's way too late. But the 8-minute Nidus. It's ridiculous. It's like buying Plan B after your kid turns 5. It's too late. Hydralisk then is finishing up here, and Lurker then should be on the way. Double Colossus as well, about to pop out. The question that I have now is whether Hive is going to be in time, you know? I don't know. I don't actually know if the Hive is going to be in time. It depends a bit on the move out. And when I say the Hive, I of course mean Vipers. Because Vipers are going to be a key unit here. An absolute key unit against this Colossus start. Dark seems to be aware that there's double robots, so you kind of know what's kicking off. I mean, Vipers are the only thing you really can do in my mind, right? Look how little creep there is, by the way. I think this build really has some potential for herO. This reeks of potential. You know that? absolutely reeks of potential. Oh, piss off, piss off. Blink back. No, yes, no, maybe. Okay. Feels good. Up, double stasis wards. Blink back. Oh, still stays in the biles at least for a little bit. Following this up with double disruptor as well. I mean, Templar Archives wouldn't be so bad if you want to go late with this. I'm not sure if you want to go late with this. It's an interesting fight so far. Viper's now moving forward. What? Abducts a Stalker there, and a blink forward coming out of herO. Lurkers are burrowing in, and will be dishing out a lot of damage against these Stalkers. Vipers need to be sniped. That is an absolute priority right now, and I'm surprised we didn't see a blink into those. I guess herO just a little bit too afraid, but then I see him blink forward like that, and he doesn't strike me as a scared person. Double abducts here on the Colossi, and that's going to remove a lot of the damage output that this army did have with its 1-1 upgrades. The roach gets blasted here. As we see, well, an okay fight here so far. An okay fight. Not brilliant, not terrible. I feel like herO, like if I look at the situation, it feels like herO is owning his opponent. But then when I look at the supply and when I think of the tech that is available, I'm not entirely sure anymore. This fort base kill would be kind of huge. It would be pretty big. But he doesn't get it. And once again, 2 abducts coming in here. 1, 2. Bang, bang, you're dead. No seismic spines. No, there is seismic spines. There's 2 little lurkers though, isn't there? It's just 3. Should be capable of holding this ramp though. We have Vipers once again going back. Just killing unit after unit. I wish Vipers had like an abduct count, you know? And you could see what they have abducted already. I think it would be cool. Ling is kind of like an observer right now. Can't be killed. Providing a lot of vision when it comes to the rotations. Here comes the Disruptor drop. We have a follow-up into air. Cool, cool. It's 3 drones here with the Disruptors. 4 bases, 4 Dark. Who is on 67 workers against the 79. Which means that once more, Dark is in a position where I'm having trouble seeing him play a game that goes longer than 13, 14 minutes, right? I think Dark's plan is to move across the map once he's maxed out and try and win a game. It is a plan that might work. But as long as herO's on the map with Stalkers, moving out is going to be a hassle. Do we have charge behind this? Yeah, there is charge as well. So run-bys, yeah, okay. There's already a run-by setup here as well. It makes it so hard to move out. For Zerg in general, it's really difficult to move out once you have lurkers. Feels like every time you move out, you're just getting attacked by prisms, run-bys, and other shenanigans. Graphitic Drive just finished up. I think that's what we call the prism speed as well. What the commoners like us call it. Only the posh people call it the Graphitic Drive. Overseer on the way. If the Stargates, I think that Dark might be missing his timing. He's getting a Nidus network now. What does his anti-air consist of? 1 Hydra, 2 Vipers. He has no queens. None. 0. A negative amount of queen. Well, no, just 0. And a Nidus network coming in. No, never mind. Setting up with a roach attack. I like that. This is a distraction. This is not a real attack. What this attack wants, it wants to force the Stalkers back home. So he can move across the map with everything else. Either that or a Nidus network somewhere. But that also hasn't happened yet. Oh. Here come the Vipers. Ugh. Parasitic Palm. Nasty spell. He's actually playing a late game. The Madman. The actual Madman. He's playing a freaking late game right now. In this scenario. In this situation. That's unheard of. That's actually unheard of. You need so much money to deal with carriers if you're coming from this position, right? Because you need upgrades for the Corruptors, you need double Spire, and you need a crap ton of Corruptors themselves. He ain't getting any of that. Spores being added in. I mean, hero's just banking up these carriers saying, hey, mate, I'm gonna get carriers. I'm gonna get my +2 at some point. It's gonna suck for you. I think the hero is right. I said I don't see Dark go further than 14 minutes in this game, and he has gone further. I'm not liking what I'm seeing. Cannon count is going to be way too high for Lurker Roach damage to do anything, which means you're stuck with this army until you can trade it out efficiently. Right now we're 10k against 13. I don't see a way for efficient trades anymore here for Dark from here on out. I'm just not seeing it. I don't think it's possible. I simply do not believe... Oh my god, what are you doing, hero? Okay, well, like that, I can see some efficient trades coming. Just blinks into 5 lurkers. He just lost 2.5k. Did get a prism in the main base, though, with some zealots. Right-clicks the hive. Surely not the play here. More and more carriers are moving forward. There's just not enough anti-air, though. There's just not enough anti-air. Maybe this was a fine play because it freed up supply for more carriers to be built. +2 hasn't started yet on air, which does frustrate me a little bit. Hive has survived. Mothership is on the way. Carrier count is at 6. The anti-air unit count is at 12, and it's all Hydras. They do have 1 carapace upgrade and 3 range upgrades, so that helps. Get a blink forward. Couple disruptor shots. What do you even abduct here? Do you go for the carriers? Do you go for the disruptors? What is it you do here, my friend? A combination of the two? Maybe all 3? Maybe you go for Templar. You're the thing no one expects. Get the Templar so I can feedback you from up close. This is a nice run by the way. Wonder what you're targeting here, though. Goes for the pylon. Then just the Cybercore. Cybercore seems to have priority. Always. Oh, big engagement at the same time. Disruptors moving forward. We see a microbial shroud, I believe this is called. The Cloud of the Infestor, making sure that these lurkers stay alive for a bit longer. Parasitic Bomb is splashing a decent chunk as well. We have 18 Hydras coming out right now. I do believe that that Dark is getting completely blasted by this carrier attack. Mothership about to finish up. So we have DT Blink on the way, +3 attack. It's going to be 6 base versus 4. I mean, this is just a pure carrier army, just kind of having a blast, you know? It's like 9 carriers flying around, having the time of their lives. Oh, DTs do... Wait. Did he just kill 2 DTs by A-moving on one of his own roaches with lurkers, and then with the splash of the lurker spines kill the DTs? I think that's what just happened. Dark really has some cool little plays, you know, some in-the-moment plays. I wonder if he thought of those before, or if he sees an opportunity in the moment and he takes it, you know? This guy would have been one hell of a stock trader. You're seeing opportunities everywhere. Doesn't play by the rules. This guy would be a billionaire at this point. Instead he went for StarCraft 2. Tough luck. Then again, you're playing video games all day, so how tough luck is it really? 12 carriers are out. We still have no +2 starting. Makes no sense. Disruptors being built by the 2s. I mean, you're attacking into someone that's on 4 bases while you have 6. And this time I actually understand it, because I think it's good to attack into this. You want to consistently trade while you're outmining your opponent by, you know, with significant numbers. You know what I also really like? It's just the constant disruptor production. I think at this point, this sounds stupid. I think it's almost good to get 4 or 5 robos and just don't give a crap about abducts. So you just are pumping out disruptors 5 at a time and you're just sending them in. You're always going to get an okay trade. I believe that. If you come in with like 10 disruptors, yeah, it's not going to be 15 Vipers. There's actually 0 Vipers right now. These disruptors are going to be absolutely key. He's actually looking for the gold as well. I mean, he can expand here. Then just set up 35 cannons, right? Good luck ever taking the bottom base in that case, Dark. Yeah. It makes a lot of sense, actually. Expanding aggressively to deny bases from your opponent. Hey, this game is completely bleeding depth right now. Like, it's over. Except there's one player that pretends that it isn't. And that player is Dark. Dark, who started up 2-0 in this series, is is going to have to face the fact that this game will be tied. This series will be tied. Triple Vipers on the way. There we go. 2 more Disruptor shots. Up. You could perhaps even just move forward with only the carriers and then storm from a distance and be fine. I truly believe that. Yeah, there we go. This is exactly kind of how I was imagining it. Just throw away your Templars. Just a trade. It's fine. It really is fine. You have so much more cash than your opponent. And you can just go back to your little cannon wall, right? This 5th base could be a potential issue. As in that I think that herO needs to do something about that. But it can be very minor investment. Something like 4, 5 zealots. A single DT is already a start. Because it requires a response from the opponent, which is the only thing that truly matters. Oh! That was 3, 4 infestors there. Once again, we're moving in. Don't forget, rotations towards the middle are still a possibility as well. We're not seeing them right now, but they're still possible. These 2 overseers get blasted. Well, one of them does. Spore gets stormed. Storm doesn't work on spores, so that feels really useless. Could even see an aggressive recall. Like, even if it's just to the other side over here. Hey, Dark is mining from a base and a half, right? Like, what is this? He's mining from here. There's some gas. A couple of patches in here. 1 patch in here. Yeah, he's actually gonna do it. Yeah, I like this. I think this is a good call. Because this is the only base that's really mining right now. So you move forward. And then you just recall. You absolutely just recall. Oh, there we go. And you completely cut off this area, right? You completely cut it off. Fungal can be used, but there's no spores. There's no spores in position. Lurkers aren't in position. This is an unleashed carrier army. One of the most important things with carriers is whether they can get out their interceptors, and they could. herO wins this game and ties up the series. Final game of this best of 5 on New Humanity. Let me see herO open up with a major switch up here in build order. Let's take a look at Dark's first person here. I want to see the different response, because herO opens up with a block of the hatchery into core before Nexus. This allows him to get fast adepts across the map. About 10 seconds quicker than you usually would be capable of doing. First adept now starting at 202 rather than 211 or 212. And this requires a response from the Zerg. Now there's a couple of responses that I believe are viable. I think one of the responses that is viable is sending links around in high numbers, forcing the second adept to stay at home. This is actually a viable response that I'm okay with as well. You know, this is fine. 2 links I don't think is enough to keep the second adept at home, but we'll see. Now we have 6 more links coming in. Okay, Dark definitely realizes. Dark knows his timing. I think he has a well thought out response for this as well. Ooh, Pylon though, coming up here as Extractor now needs to be built. There we go. Links will most likely fall. Hatchery has been blocked. Beep boop, beep boop. Adios, Mr. Hatchery. It's going to be taken here at the 3rd base instead. So quick adaptation coming out of Dark here. Sees the adept in the wall, still tries to go for it. That's a mistake. Second adept stayed at home. It's an interesting one. So herO just played this to block the 3rd base, nothing else. It wasn't some type of massive damage deal. You know, he wasn't going for 12 worker kills. No, he was going for a block on that 3rd base and now forcing that base forward, which can be frustrating as a Zerg if you weren't necessarily planning on it. Dark, of course, quick with the adaptation. Oracle as a follow-up, second gateway as well coming out. There is a rich Vespene geyser here, so that's where the second gas is going to be taken. Possibilities of Roach Ravager Queen all-ins are definitely floating around in my head. Most likely floating around in the head of herO and Dark as well. Whenever you see a rich Vespene geyser, you're always scared of that. Something like Muta also a possibility, although that would be a lot later on in this game. Probe is hidden on the right side, not so sure what it's trying to do or what it wants to do here. Ooh, that was a couple of drones that skated by. Almost made it home. Into heaven. Well, 2 went into heaven now. 1 made it to the base over here. It's a weird game. Weird game so far. Second Oracle pops out too. There's so many spores already. Dark very keen on high spore counts. Very quickly into the game. herO very keen on taking a lot of hull damage on his oracles, while dealing fairly mediocre damage to his opponent. Triple oracle, 4 adapts. This is an attack, okay? This is a move out, which we could perhaps see some damage being dealt. For now, just occupying this watchtower. Twilight Council once again is the first structure here for herO. Most likely to rush out Blink like he has been doing in the past few games. Follows it up with 2 more gates here though. And Stalker. So it's going to be a very, very aggressive Blink build order. Extremely aggressive. One of these Blink builds that we used to see back in the day just isn't so popular anymore. Goes in, takes out 3 workers, flies into the main, throws down a Revelation, sees... Well, doesn't see the second gas. I'm surprised we have the second gas in the main base. Oh, I guess this one's already mining the rich one. So this is technically now a 4 gas build order with a lair being constructed as well. It still feels like we're heading into Roach Ravager Queen territory here. Like the signs are pointing towards it. Quick gases. I think we might see a Queen drop, but we're not seeing Pneumatized Carapace yet. So what's up with that? And we are seeing a Fort base. So what is up with that? Fort base is going to get cancelled though. So there's no issue here. No Evo chamber yet either. Fort is going to be retaken. Very early gas mining. Maybe Spire? I'm just kind of... I'm trying to figure out what is going on here exactly. Like, I can't quite see the path here for Dark. Like, why did he take his gases so darn early? Why did he kind of stop his eco from booming in the way that it could have? In order to get what? To get 5 roaches on 60 drones? Well, you have a quick lair and a high gas count in the bank. Look at his gas! It's doing nothing right now. It's doing no work for him at all. He doesn't seem keen on all-inning. It's too late for an all-in now. Eco-wise is not looking strong. To say I dislike this build order would be an understatement. Definitely not a fan of this yet. Both of these Ravager morphs are going to get targeted down as 2 drones do end up falling. Stasis Ward going down in the main as well. Not quite going to get the connection. Only 2 drones will fall. This bad boy does move in. Oh, tries to get the stasis up. Will not quite get it. There's a couple of links in position. This stasis almost finishes. Look at these. This is so annoying to deal with if you're Dark. And Dark has a specific style as well in which he tends to pull all of his queens forward. This is actually a Roach all-in, by the way. So it is a Queen Roach Ravager all-in. But it's going to hit so ridiculously late of such a low worker count. And without any upgrades. It feels like Dark just grabbed a couple of ingredients, threw it together, and then came out with this kind of monstrosity of a build order. In my opinion, it simply doesn't look so good. It looks fairly weak. We have a second battery on the way already. We have a battery in the natural. Yes, we do. 2 more gates as well coming out. Triple oracles, of course, still around. Wouldn't even mind seeing a couple extra oracles being added here. But there is a minor supply block right now for herO. This is such an odd build, just watching this. herO is playing 4 base, going into, what is this, 10 gateways? It's going up to 12 gateways right now. herO is preparing for a mid game. I think herO is confused. I think herO is confused just like I am. He's like, well, what is this? Why do you have so many Ravagers? What are your plans? And he's just adding more and more gateways. He says, hey, I want more production. He could add a second forge. I don't think he's in any danger at all. Like, there's not enough creep. There's no way for the queens to play a meaningful role here. It is herO who believes he can attack, despite his opponent being on a lower worker count and massing out Roach Ravager. This is there's still no upgrade here for Dark. I've never seen something like this in my entire life. This is a 9-minute Roach all-in without being maxed, without upgrades. I just don't understand that. And we have a Zealot run by heading towards the right, looking for a 5th base. Dark isn't even fantasizing about a 5th base yet. And that's how far away it is, you know? It's more likely that I win the Champions League than Dark taking a 5th base right now on this right side. I don't even play football. Infestation Pit here goes down once again. It's going into some Roach infestor lurker, but from a deficit, economic deficit, an upgrade deficit, a tech deficit, a base deficit. So we see a 5th base is going to start here quickly as well. And he hasn't even survived hero's incoming push yet. Like, there's... What? heRO believes he can go in here, and I trust hero's judgment most of the time. And perhaps I should do it here once more as well. Just trust heRO. Interesting trade. Works in 12 more zealots. Not quite sure how great that was. Tunneling Claws is on the way. Robos have finished, and that means that Disruptors or Immortals are going to be the follow-up. For now, Immortals. Robobay can be built at any point, of course. Still no 5th base here. Yeah, good blink in, I think. That was nice. There's a lot of Ravagers. Ravagers are not great against Zealots. Zealots here start taking out a couple of these drones in this location as Tunneling Claws has finished up. I think heRO is aware of that. He sees the fluorescent spikes coming out of the roaches. That means that harassment now could be made a little bit easier here for Dark. And Dark also feels like he feels like he can move across the map. I'm not so sure about that. Doesn't quite... No observers. Okay, we have a new Oracle coming in. So that's nice for detection, I guess. The heRO is definitely aware of what's kicking off. He just wants more Immortals for now. Making sure he doesn't die. He's +2 against 0-0. This is a one-sided fight, in my opinion. I just don't see a way in which Dark wins a fight here. +1 is about to finish up. We have a Zealot flank coming in, but once 4 Immortals pop, like, this shouldn't be close. This is a good move. This is a really nice move. This is being spotted, though. This is being spotted, right? Oh, no. 2 Immortals get taken out. How is Dark making this work? Or how is Dark almost making this work, I guess I should say. We still have a lot of Zealots moving forward here. Immortals in the far back, still dishing out a crap ton of damage. A couple of cannons. I wouldn't mind them. Worker count still 80 against 68. Like, that's the real banger here, right? That's the... Yeah, that's the game changer. Templar Archives over Robobay. We already have a Robobay as well, no? Yeah. No observer speed. No disruptors yet. Okay, now we see disruptors. No observer speed. Cannon going down in natural. Is this a full wall? Did heRO just say, hey mate, I don't actually give a crap about getting anything from my natural. All my important facilities are somewhere else. Another aggressive move forward. So we have a roach run by here heading in towards the 4th base as well. I think heRO is just kind of winning this game. This is such a anticlimactic way of finishing this series. Like, the supplies are close, but the infrastructure and the tech that we're working with and the eco that we have, in my mind, just means that heRO can never lose this. He's trying his best, just throwing away gateway unit after gateway unit. Might even lose these disruptors if he ain't careful. 5 drones have gone down here. This is going to kill 2 more roaches. Like, he's taking bad fights, all right? heRO is taking bad fights. If you're fighting pure roach with a 200 supply army that also has Immortals, and you're getting even trades, you know, credits to the Zerg, but this Zerg is on pure roach still. There is no hive, so no possibility for Vipers. We already have 4 Disruptors, soon to be 6. Upgrades are completely fine for heRO. He has insane infrastructure to replenish. He has insane eco to replenish. Like, heRO can lose 3 more fights and be fine. But if Dark ever loses a fight, he's dead. And army-wise, Dark has a worse army. It's just true. And he has had a worse army for the past 5 minutes. He is making magic happen here. But you know, after a while, all magic is just tricks. It's deceit, you know? Eventually, Dark is gonna get caught. Whether that's by a disruptor shot or by losing your 4th base. Tries to jump on top of these disruptors. Doesn't work out. 2 big disruptor hits. Take out a bunch of these Ravagers. Meanwhile, we do have this Roach counterattack. And that might force heRO to actually kind of dedicate here to this push. We have a recall coming in. Is there any detection with this? I think the answer is almost. Oh, Disruptors. You can't really chase a Disruptor army, Dark. He's going to try loses big chunks of his Roach force here. Going to lose another chunk if he ain't careful. There we go. All the Roaches in the main base will be in trouble as well. Still a couple of bad boys running, running around in the net. These will die. We now have Gravitic Drive. Gravitic Boosters for the Observer. My apologies. Observer Speed. We have the Hive coming up. The Hive is a necessity, but I think it might also just be too late. The Hive can be multiple things. And in this case, it truly is too late. As the Disruptor count right now is at 6. Stalkers blink microing back. Worker count is a little bit more even as more roaches are moving forward right now, trying to deal some damage over here on the 3rd base. It's an interesting goal. Interesting base to go for. I mean, what's the point really? There's like 5 workers here. Dark deemed it important. It's going to lose every single unit here as a result. Once again, attack on the 5th. As hero's just kind of chasing roaches here right now. Which is not brilliant, but I think it's good enough. Really, I just think it's good enough. I don't think it matters. And base count is still even. And his army is just so much better. Like, you can see it the entire time, right? He's so much better. Like, he's not even close. It's 160 supply against 187. 41 Stalkers against 25 Roaches. Just the Stalkers are enough. Just the Disruptors are enough. You put everything together, and the moment Dark is forced into a real fight, he's going to get blasted. He's going to absolutely get blasted. As I mentioned, a fairly disappointing way to end the series, but this game has been over since minute 5, basically, after Dark took 4 gases and did nothing with it. He's completely destroying his own economy for no reason. herO capitalized by just playing a normal game after that. And herO will win this series. A reverse sweep here in this best of 5. Impressive feat. And a disappointing performance by Dark in that last game. That is going to be it for me today. I hope you all enjoyed it. If you did, don't forget to hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and I'll see all of you next time for a new video. Bye-bye.